We're joined now by David Hogg, a senior at Marjorie Stoneman Douglas High School, and Ashley Kurth, the teacher there, sheltered 65 people in her classroom, including David, during the shooting. David, you see there what you're up against. NRA against any change in the minimum age, against universal background checks, against a ban on semi-automatic weapons.
Honestly, it's just disgusting. They act like they don't own these politicians. They still do. It's a Republican-controlled House, Senate, and executive branch. They can get this stuff done. They've gotten gun legislation passed before in their favor, in the favor of gun manufacturers. And what I want people to know is, look at Dana. Look at what she's saying. Is she actually saying anything, or is that just a tone to distract the American public and distract her NRA members from the fact that she's not serving them? She is serving the gun manufacturers. She's not serving the people of the NRA, because the people that are joining the NRA, 99.9% of them are amazing people that just want to be safe, responsible gun owners, and I fully can support that.
How do you convince them to convince their leadership that we need change?
They have to do that. In the same way that this is a democracy that's currently broken, the NRA is an organization that's completely broken.
Ashley, your teacher, guns in the classroom?
I would definitely say not. You know, I have no problem having a concealed weapon or being at home and having it in my home. I do not own one, but my in-laws next to me do. And, you know, yeah, it does make you feel safer and have that point of protection. But in the classroom, I don't know. There's so many fights that I've broken up at the different schools that I've been at and the school that I'm currently at. And it's these are kids that have passions, very raging passions. And when they get into fights or arguments over something on Twitter or Instagram, or just how their day went and having a bad day and somebody just reacts to them wrong, having something like this in their vicinity is just not a good idea. I mean, I have a 7-year-old, and I would not feel comfortable with him going into a classroom knowing that there could be a potential weapon in there, whether it's loaded or not, because some of the people have made, you know, comments, and I've had conversations with friends of mine and stuff saying, okay, well, you have a concealed weapon on you, and, you know, it doesn't have any ammunition in it. It's going to have to be locked in a separate area. And I mean, these kids get into everything that they can at a high school level. I can only imagine it would be at a elementary or middle school level. So,
David, you heard that other point that Dana was making about the Broward County Sheriff's Office. Do you feel let down by them?
Honestly, I know that the people that work in law enforcement are some of the hardest working individuals in America. I know that they work every single day to protect the lives and just innocence of American school children and the American public in general. Were there mistakes made? Absolutely. Is anything going to change? I certainly hope so. But this is something that we can't go back and change now. We just have to look to the future and fix it. Before like these investigations come out and everything, from what I've seen of Sheriff Scott Israel, he's a good man. He cares about the people. I don't know what's happened in his organization. I'm not a sheriff. I can't speak on behalf of them. Honestly, I just know that I support anyone that's trying to protect the lives and the future of America.
You know, we were talking before we went on the air, you have many family members who have experience with weaponry, with things like semi-automatic weapons. You heard the NRA right there saying absolutely no ban on semi-automatic weapons. What's your response to that?
I don't understand the need to have them. One of the things that I've been thinking about a lot this past week especially is, you know, we have the officers who are on campus that are armed. And, you know, if you had a person that didn't have this weapon that came onto campus and maybe they had a different type of weapon, would we need to fight the same weapon with the same weapon? So for me, I don't feel the need to have that specific type of weapon, but it's more important that what I went through, it's the capacity, the amount that he went through in that 7 minutes that we were in there is just unreal with the kids that were running from it. And yes, you're going to have people that are going to be making mistakes, like the BSO or the FBI and all of them. We're human. Humans make mistakes. And yes, you have a lot of things that you put onto these people, and that's what they're trained to do. Just like we are teachers, we are trained to educate, we're trained to, you know, enlighten, we're trained to get the best that we can out of our kids and to challenge them to do new and bigger things for themselves, even when they don't think that they can do it. And, you know, when it comes to weapons and the capacity of damage that they can do, we need to really sit down and say, okay, this is society. It's not, like David says, it's not a Republican or a Democrat type of viewpoint. It's more of, what do we need to do for our kids, specifically in our schools?
How do you, and you kids are taking the lead in this. I mean, young people are taking the lead in the wake of the shooting. Address the point that I made at the top of this program. We've seen these horrific shootings in the past. We've seen Columbine, we've seen Virginia Tech, we've seen Newtown, we've seen white hot intensity in the days after the shooting, then it goes away, zero change. How do you prevent that from happening this time?
Honestly, it's our generation. Columbine was about 19 years ago. And now that you've had an entire generation of kids growing up around mass shootings, and the fact that they're starting to be able to vote, explains how we're going to have this change. Kids are not going to accept this. As many critics of my generation will say, millennials are some of the laziest, most critical people. I don't think that they're lazy, but I think we're definitely critical, especially on social media. And we love to complain about things. We absolutely do. And honestly, trying to fix this issue.
You were saying that before.
Yes.
Yeah, we really do. It's something where we're going to have to look really hard into what the foundation of this country is and ask ourselves, is that what we actually are becoming? And to the members of the NRA, I want to say this. Listen to Dana. Is she really speaking to you guys? Is she trying to fight for you guys? Or is she actually trying to fight for the gun lobby? Everything she's saying seems like spectacle. Is it just her tone, or is it what she's actually saying?
Going back to school on Wednesday?
Actually, I go back today because we have a couple students that are going to be coming on with their parents and collecting their belongings and just getting acclimated. And my fellow staff members and I have two. Planning day is Monday and Tuesday. And then the students join us for half days on Wednesday, Thursday, and Friday.
Ready for it?
Honestly, I don't know at this point. Imagine having to get in a plane crash and then having to get on that same plane every day and fly somewhere else. It's never going to be the same. It never will be the same. There's going to be emotional ramifications from this. I don't support, honestly, I can't even imagine emotionally what me and my fellow students are going to go through that day. I haven't even thought of what my thought process is going to be like, even stepping back onto the same grounds as that school, having to walk past the freshman building to my AP Environmental Science class, walking past Chef Kerr's classroom, and realizing I had to huddle in there and save my life. And the most disturbing point about this, George, is the fact that we're having some of our glass replaced. It's not even bulletproof. We aren't having interchangeable locks replaced where we can lock them from the inside to prevent shooters from getting in. If we don't fix this now, when will it change? How many more children are going to have to die? Honestly, I know that we don't have the funding, but seriously, the federal government, the state government, even private citizens at this point can help us out. Help us create more bulletproof glass. I know it's expensive, but because of economies of scale, that price can and will go down when there's a huge demand for it.
Maybe that's something we can all agree on. Good luck going back. I know it's going to be a tough week. Thanks for your time this morning.
Thank you.
Hi, everyone. George Stephanopoulos here. Thanks for checking out the ABC News YouTube channel. If you'd like to get more videos, show highlights, and watch live event coverage, click on the right over here to subscribe to our channel. And don't forget to download the ABC News app for breaking news alerts. Thanks for watching.